Welcome to Lighting for Profits.
All light.
Powered by Emery Allen.
Get rid of your excuses.
Your number one source for all things landscape lighting.
That's where the magic can happen. You can really scale a business.
We really had to show up for each other.
From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing.
You're a scaredy cat salesman, Kurt.
We discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
What do you think a hippo has to do with your business, Ryan?
Usually it's some weird childhood thing. Some bully kicked your butt.
I think the key factor here is trust.
Here is your host, Ryan Lee.
All light. Welcome to the number one landscape lighting show in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I don't know. We'll find out in a few minutes. Hey, if you're looking to start or grow a landscape lighting business, you're definitely in the right place. Super excited to be with you guys today. We're here to educate, to motivate, to help you dominate. So we got a great show lined up for you today. We got the one and only, the real Mike Long coming on the show. And couldn't be more excited. The real Mike Long, let's go. So exciting times, you guys. The landscape lighting industry, some of the things we're working on is going to blow your mind. And if you've got the right mindset, you're going to love it. If you got the right mindset, you're going to hate me more. So it's going to be awesome, guys. The things that are going to happen in the lighting industry over the next 5 to 10 years are going to be amazing. And if you're in the right position, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to make a lot of people happy. And it's going to be a great industry. So really excited. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'm still asking for your 5-star reviews. If you're on Apple, that would be great. And just type something nice. I'm assuming you got value, but if you didn't get value, then I don't want your 1-star review. Right. But if you did get value, Spotify or Apple Music are the ways to do it. So what's up, Brian Dank? It's an imposter. I'm telling you, I don't know. We're going to see if it's the real Mike Long or not. Just a few minutes away, guys. We got Mike Long. We're going to be talking about branding his new company, LightQuest. So LightQuest Outdoor Illumination is going to be the topic. And I'm pretty excited because Mike is doing things that most people don't dare to do. Let's face it. And most people are unwilling to do for several reasons. But he's doing some major things in the lighting industry and someone I definitely look up to. So I'm excited to have him on the show. And before we have a couple things, number one, don't forget, you guys, Landscape Lighting Live coming up in San Diego, the first time we've been on the West Coast. And we've got something super awesome in the works. I can't announce it yet, but you're gonna want to be at this Landscape Lighting Live San Diego. Every location we go to, we try to do something that's different, something that's unique to the area. And this one is not going to disappoint. So if you have not gotten your ticket, I highly recommend you do it now. You will not be disappointed. LandscapeLightingLive.com. We've got our 4 mentors. We got Greg Matthews. We got Brandon Miles. We got Andy Schwindler. And we got Captain Matt. So these guys are going to be laying it down hardcore, and it's going to be amazing. So LandscapeLightingLive.com. Get your tickets now. It's going to sell out. And then people are going to message me and say, I just need one more ticket. And I'm like, sorry, it's not possible. But right now you can get almost as many tickets as you want. This is the time. So if you have any questions, just reach out, shoot me a message. I'm going to be doing some videos over the next couple of weeks on who it's for, what it's about, if you should go or not, and stuff like that. We've got a lot of questions coming in, but you could just take action and commit. Just get a ticket, right? So also want to thank Emery Allen. And just play some fun music. Performance matters. That's true for a lot of things. Am I right? Including the kind of lighting you use. So don't sell yourself short with your customer by using budget level products. Emery Allen is at the top of their game when it comes to performance. Take their VA rating, for example, lowest in the industry. What does that mean? Efficiency. With a low volt ampere rating, you're able to drive more bulbs on a circuit with a given transformer rating. With lower quality bulbs and that same transformer, you won't be able to put as many lights on the same circuit, which means you can make more money by spending less, okay? So make the switch today to Emery Allen. It's a great time to do it. All you have to do is email Tom Garber. His email right now is tomg@emeryallen.com, all you got to do is send him an email, tomg@emeryallen.com. Mention you heard about him here on Lighting for Profits. Mention Ryan Lee. Mention whatever you got to do to get the hookup. I promise you it will be worth it because it's better than their regular pricing on their website. So don't go there. Just email tomg@emeryallen.com. All right, guys. Remember, in just a couple minutes, we got Mr. Mike Long coming on with his newly branded company, LightQuest, and I'm excited to dive into that. It's been a process for him. He spent a lot of money, a lot of time, and he's invested quite a bit into this. So I'm excited to pick his brain about the whole thing. But before I have him on, I want to ask you a question: Who listening to this, who's watching this, who wants to be successful? I hope it's everyone. Like everyone, put your hands up. I feel like we all want to be successful in one, way of definition or the other. And I'm trying to simplify my life right now. And it may not look like it because I'm kind of all over the place and I do way too much. But that's why I'm trying to simplify. Okay. And I was trying to come up with this success formula. Like, how do you get success? And I tried to narrow it down to a couple different things. And those two things were knowledge and discipline. And I was like, okay, if I could just have what if I would simplify success, what would I need in any given area of my life? And I came up with knowledge and discipline. And then I started researching it some more. And I was like, man, this is not as easy as I thought, because I came up with a long list of things that you need to be successful. But I noticed you could kind of pack certain ones into another. I made a post online about it. And a lot of people were saying, well, you need to take action. Like, that's true. And so I kind of included taking action and discipline, because you need discipline to take action, right? And I came across this quote by Albert Einstein, who I guess was a pretty smart dude. And he said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Now I'm like, crap, well, is it imagination and discipline? Do I get rid of knowledge, And, he's a pretty smart guy, so I like to learn from smart people. And I started thinking, is imagination really more important than knowledge? And what is he talking about? What does he mean? And as I researched it some more, what he was talking about was, so imagine if Albert Einstein had settled with the amount of knowledge that he gained at any given point in his life. When he was 26 years old and he came out with his first papers after his doctorate, these were some pretty genius things, right? If he had just not used his imagination and just settled on, I have knowledge, this is good. What would we have missed out on in life, right? See, Albert Einstein, he was a thinker, and he continually challenged his own knowledge. Okay, that's why he was so smart. He used his imagination. He actually made assumptions. He assumed that he didn't know everything. He assumed that he was wrong. And so when's the last time you asked yourself, what if everything I'm doing, or what if something I'm doing is wrong, right? What if there's another way? What if there's a better way? What if there's a faster way? What if there's a smarter way? What if there's a happier way? And there's another quote, and I don't know who said this, but it is something along the lines of, the greatest enemy of progress is our success. So think about that for a minute. The greatest enemy of progress is our success. So what that means is, because we're successful in a certain area of our life, be it our health, our relationships, our wealth, whatever it is, right? We see success. We take that as oh, we're doing it right. We're doing good. And so we stop challenging ourselves because we found the right success. We found the right way, the better way. We think we know, right? And in reality, we don't know what we don't know. And I love the Albert Einstein method of saying, well, our imagination is more important than knowledge, because if we use our imagination and we imagine that we're wrong, imagine that, what if there is a better way? What if there's an easier way? All of a sudden, our knowledge can now increase. Okay, so I still stand firm that knowledge and discipline are the keys to success. But now you have to add that element of imagination. So it's like knowledge plus imagination plus discipline. And this applies to everything, you guys. It applies to our health, okay? Whether we're talking our physical health, mental health, our emotional, our spiritual health, whatever it is, you can apply this to anything that you're struggling with, or that you think you're not struggling with, okay? And I'm going to make this challenge to you, is instead of just looking at the things that you think you're weak on. Look at your strengths, and look at the things that you think you already have dialed in, and assume and use your imagination that you could be wrong or that you could be better, right? And I've been doing this recently, and it's a very powerful exercise because it opens up to your mind to a lot of different scenarios where your ego goes away, your pride goes away, and your knowledge is now allowed to increase exponentially from where it was. And so, in business, I love business. I'm addicted to it. It's a problem, but in business, think about the different areas: marketing, sales, recruiting, training, customer service. What areas do you think that you're like, I don't need help with that? I got that. Right. And it's interesting because when people reach out to me and get on, we have these like strategy sessions that we do them for free. We ask them a series of questions about their business. And some of the things are like, what's your biggest obstacle? And what are you struggling with most? And what do you need help with the most? And it's interesting because what people think is their problem, their obstacle, a lot of times it's not. Okay. It's a lot of times their obstacle is that they think they're already good with something, right? And they haven't used their imagination to increase their knowledge. And they'll be like, "Oh, I don't need much help with sales. I'm good with that." And I'm like, let's dig into that a little bit deeper, because if you don't think you have a problem with something, that's probably where you can identify some major problems. Okay. And that's why Albert Einstein was so genius. He continually challenged his own knowledge. He continually pushed back on himself to ask himself, like, what if this isn't right? Right. And so I want to encourage you to challenge your knowledge about marketing, your knowledge about sales, your knowledge about lighting, your knowledge about design, all these different elements, your knowledge about recruiting, training, your knowledge about customer service, how you deal with these clients. Just because you've tried something before and it doesn't work doesn't mean that you did it the right way. Okay. Because I hear these conversations all the time around marketing, around sales, around a lot of different principles. And people say, oh, it doesn't work in my market. It's like, is that true? Right? Have you used your imagination? Have you asked the question that maybe you didn't do it correctly? And sometimes I think we think something doesn't work because someone else told us it doesn't work. All right. So maybe you haven't tried something because it's what someone else said. And like that's also a potential major problem, right? So I want to challenge you to go challenge your own knowledge, right? And I don't know that I've got the success formula figured out. I think this is going to be a work in progress for me. But for now, my working model is knowledge plus imagination plus discipline equals success. And interested in your feedback. Let me know what you guys think of that. Is that too simple? Does it leave something out of the formula that needs to be there? I think simplicity is key in life. Anytime we can try to simplify, we're going to get much more traction, much more results. And that's my working definition of success today. And we'll see what happens over the years as I continually challenge my own knowledge of what I think I know, because I've learned over the years that what we think we know, we actually don't, right? And I just through a series of exercises saw an email that I drafted a couple years ago, and I thought, wow, like that was from 2 years ago. I wouldn't write that email today, and some of my views have changed on the circumstance around this particular email. And I was like, wow, yeah, I would write that differently today, right? And so my knowledge at the time was limited to that level of knowledge. Okay, so encourage you guys to push back on yourselves, find those areas that maybe you don't know what you think you know, and let me know your feedback on the success formula. So, all right, I need to get a drink of water, so that means it's time to get our guest coming on, so we can get our intro music coming on to give me a little break for a second. Are you guys ready? I see a bunch of you here live. Let me know in the comments if you guys have questions for the real Mike Long. Let's get them coming on. You ready? Whoa, guys. I guess we're not having them on. We were just going to restart the show. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mike Long.
Hello there. How you doing?
Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
I know you're out, changing the world one awesome lighting design at a time, but I appreciate you taking the time, and it's going to be a fun show, man.
Absolutely. Always going to be fun.
So, how you been?
Been doing good. It's been a very busy season already. And Wisconsin, we usually don't get started till now, but we're in full swing. We got everybody out going and
That's pretty awesome.
selling and working and everything else. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, early March, it could be frozen tundra still there, so that's awesome.
Absolutely. It's not. So I brought all the guys came back Monday full time. So we're at it full bore. So which is awesome.
Very cool. So, you've been on the show before, but maybe just do a quick introduction for those who don't know you of maybe how did you get into the landscape lighting business?
So my background is I own lawn care and landscaping companies for about 30 years now. Uh, I got into the lighting business. One of our lawn care clients back in 98, 99 wanted some outdoor lighting at their house. We never did outdoor lighting. I'm like, I had some outdoor lighting at my house. I had some good Malibu stuff at the time. So I was the one that was chosen to figure out how to do lighting, and I did. And ever since then, I've been hooked on it. So that's how I got started. So 98, what is that? That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that was the year I graduated high school, FYI. That was a long time ago. So then you're like, oh, lighting's awesome. And then you started Mike's Landscape Lighting in what, 2013?
Mike's Landscape Lighting was started in 2013. Basically, I separated. I talked to my partner in the landscaping business at the time. I said, "Hey, I'm going to start a separate company. And I'm going to take all the lighting away from our landscaping company, which we weren't doing that much." And he was good with it, so we started it. So basically, just doing it part time for the first until 2017, when we end up selling our lawn care company to True Green. So August of 2017 is when I went full time in lighting,
Okay, cool.
and it's been fun.
So we'll get into your branding change here in a minute, but I did notice, and Greg pointed this out at the Alamo, they totally ripped off your logo. Are you suing them? Like, what is this a huge deal right now?
Because the Alamo was only like a couple years ago, so I've been around since 2013. So yeah, they definitely took it from me. Yes. Yeah.
Sometime I don't know when the Alamo existed, but it was sometime after 2013.
Yeah, it's obviously it's not that old.
Interesting. So
I'm trying to pull the picture up on my phone, but will they be able to see that through my phone? Me looking at the horse?
probably not, but if they go to your social media, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, they totally ripped them off. So so originally you start this company, you're like, I'm gonna do lighting. How'd you come up with the name Mike's Landscape Lighting?
It's pretty. It was very hard to come up with that. My name is Mike, and I want to do landscape lighting.
Hmm.
So what's nice about
Genius.
doing it that way is you don't have to you don't have to file a name statement or anything like that. You don't have to do background check on the name. So it makes it easy to start a company with your name in it. You don't have to worry about that stuff. Hey,
Oh,
Lindsay.
Lindsay says hi. She was refreshing the water. Thank you, the missus. I was like, I'm already out of water. Can you bring me in some water? So, well, okay. So you came up with the genius name, Mike's Landscape Lighting, which I think, like most people are afraid to start. So, like, I don't think there's any problem with it. Like, look at all the success you've had so far. Some people get hung up so much on the name and everything else. Now that you've had over 10, you're 11 years in now, I guess you probably started the process at 10 years in. Why did you start thinking I want to rebrand?
A couple reasons. As you grow, you are not the only person doing the work anymore. So, I mean, I had other designers out there already. People always wanted to have Mike. So I wanted to get the name Mike out of the name, and I wanted to get the name landscape out of the name. I think people look, most landscapers don't do the job correctly. They don't treat their business like a business. And when you have the word landscape in there, they think that you're that type of person or that type of company until they meet us, and then they figure out we're not. So I just want to take those two names out of the name from the start.
So a lot of people would say, well, it's almost like my beginning kind of monologue there. Like most people would be like, but Mike, you're already successful. You already have this business with like installers and office staff and salespeople, and you've got an established name. Like you're already successful. Why now?
I mean, that's a very good question. Because, and to answer that question is because where I want to go in the future. I want to be way bigger than I am now. I want to be in multiple states, have multiple designers at every single location. Um, so that's why now. But yes, absolutely. A lot of people would kill to have the company that I already built, and I'm taking that name and throwing it away. Very scary thing to do.
That's so it's crazy, man. So, well, I think it's awesome because it's that the whole phrase like "what got you here won't get you there." I think this is kind of a good example of that. Is like you mentioned, like people are like asking, "Well, is Mike coming? Like, when is Mike showing up?" And you're like, "No, Mike's not here anymore." Like, so there is a lot of truth to what got you here won't get you there. Now you've rebranded to LightQuest, and how did you come up with the name? Because I would imagine after 10 years, you're pretty much in love with your current logo and brand and your success and your clients love you like and how do you just toss that away?
Yeah, it's so I hired a professional branding company to help me with that process. But yeah, it's I still answer the phone, Mike's Landscape Lighting. I still when I'm calling people, I say, "This is Mike from No, no, it's not Mike's Landscape Lighting." So I'm always correcting myself and redoing our videos for our clients. I had a whole tape of bloopers, which is kind of fun. So but anyways, to answer your question, so I hired a rebranding company, Dan Antonelli with Kick Charge. I read his book probably 3 years ago. I don't have the book in front of me. It's called Branded, Not Blanded. If you have not read that book, get that book and read it. Dan will send you a signed copy of it if you contact him. He'll send you a signed copy of it. So yeah, I look to hire professionals to help me with that whole process.
So when you started that, well, one, why'd you decide upon him? Was it because of the book or like how do you decide like who you're going to actually hire as opposed to just going to 99 designs or Fiverr?
Yeah. So Dan is a proven professional in the rebranding. He has taken many, mostly in the home services industry, which we technically are in the home services industry, but he's really big in the HVAC, plumbing, electrical, that kind of companies. And he has many proven increases of, I mean, like hundreds and hundreds of percents in business increase after rebranding. So I did a lot of research on him, and that's why I chose him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that guy's got a proven track record. And like you said, he's got all these case studies of like, well, once they rebrand these already established companies doing in very, very impressive numbers. And that's where I think is cool about you is like most people would not say, like, I don't need a rebrand. Like I'm already doing very well. Like we get leads every day. We have a marketing machine, like it works. And I think it takes a lot of courage to do what you did to just like drop your old name, drop your old logo, like invest tons of time and invest tons of money. Talk about some of your feelings as you were going through that. Like, wait, we have to get a new name.
Yeah. So just to tell you how I did the process, I had like 10 of my clients, 10 of my ideal clients, the size clients that you want to have the income level and stuff like that. Um, Set up as to give me feedback on everything throughout the whole process. So they helped me choose the name and all that stuff. But there was a point, and I remember where it was. It was after I chose the name, and we were going to file the trademark for it, and I found out, that's a scary point. So I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to stop. And apparently that's very common. But so I ended up talking to Dan Antonelli. He actually called me personally it was a Friday night. I remember when I was driving down south to go buy a car with my son because he wanted to buy a new car because he buys a car every other month. And he called me on the way down there, and I'm talking to him for a long time. This is on a Friday night. This is the owner of the company that I think he just put on there that he just put on his Facebook page that they did. What was it? Do you see that? It was like $1 million in a day or something. What was it? Did you see that?
I did. It was a million.
Well,
Was it $1 million a month?
maybe it was a month.
It
It's
was a
gotta be
big
more than
number.
that.
Yeah.
It was a big whatever it was.
It was
It's
a
a big
million in
number.
a minute. I think it was $1 million in a minute.
It could have been. It was $1 million in 1 second or something. He's like a multi-billionaire, and he calls me on a Friday afternoon, Friday evening. So, that tells you about his passion for his business. Because yeah, it was. I'm like, I'm changing my name. I'm pretty successful. Do I really want to do this? And it's a common thing. And so I told Dan, I said, you need to have like a support group for people changing their names so other people can console them and stuff like
That's
that.
interesting. So it was after you'd already committed. You'd already gone through the process of finding the name. So you are committed already, but then you wanted to back
So it was during and it was during the trademark process. And if anybody's been through a trademark process, so you file the paperwork for a trademark, but it's the government. They will not look at it for 9 months. They still have not looked at my name to see if I'm going to get the trademark or not. I still don't know, and I'm actually fully using this thing. That's the scary part.
So it just becomes so overwhelming where you're like, you know what? It would just be easier to go back. Like, why are we doing all this? I'm
Yeah.
already, your past self starts speaking to you saying, why am I'm already successful. Do we really need this?
Yeah, and what if what I'm doing right now is wrong? You just said that. I wrote it down. I had that conversation with myself.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, it could backfire, I guess, right? You're like doing something new and innovative, and you're like, what if this is the wrong thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
Very
that's
scary
great.
process.
Well, I mean, I admire your courage. I don't think a lot of people might talk about how they would do it, but that's talk. Talk is cheap. I think to actually go through with it is very admirable. So, congrats to you for doing it. Um, what's the rest of the process been like? Did you have like names that you thought that people were gonna like, and then you sent them to your people, and they come back and they didn't like it, or logos or anything like that?
So let me when I first had our first meeting, you go through a whole bunch of surveys and stuff. You got questions you got to answer for Dan and his team. And when you say that you want a name outside the box, they're gonna be like way outside the box, not just like right next to the box. They're gonna be like way over. So so and
You thought like it would be gonna be like Mike's outdoor lighting instead of Mike's landscape lighting because you didn't want to use landscape.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But so the first batch of names they came back with, I sent them to my clients, and they hated every one of them. I hated every one of them. I mean, it's like Greg makes fun of it. Greg Matthews makes fun of it. One of them was like Razzle Dazzle, or I'm making up, but they were like way out there. One was like Dream Maker. I mean, they were like pretty far out.
When you sent them to me, I didn't know if you had like already picked one, so I didn't want to like. I'm like, how do I come back at him and be like, I don't like any of them either, because like, what if you had a favorite? I didn't want to crush your dreams,
Yeah, they were all pretty. I mean, yeah, I don't remember all of them, but they were pretty
Glambassadors
far
was
out.
what it was. Glambassadors.
Ambassadors.
I love it.
So I
Jason says
paid for
hire a
that.
trademark attorney. It will take 30 days.
No, but no, because
No.
the attorney can make it all fast, but and I did hire a trademark attorney through Dan Antonelli, and the federal government will not look at it for 9 months. So, which I think is coming up this month. So maybe I'll get a response back or something. So
Yeah, but they're probably listening, and they'll be like, let's get him his thing now. So yeah, this will
yeah,
be
they're
good.
probably on your podcast. Yeah, I'm guessing that. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so you get the names. You didn't like any of them. Your clients didn't like any of them. Now, were you in like panic mode?
No, I'm like, So I joked around with a lot of, so you get on the Zoom calls with their talented guys that come up with these names. I'm like, how much weed do you guys smoke when you're coming up with these names?
That's
They just
awesome.
laughed, which I know it's true. They got to do something. So I had to pay for that process again because they did exactly what I wanted to do. And so I paid for that process of the thing again to get 6 or 7 more names to choose from.
And a
So
little,
like,
you
as I
wanted
said, just
less, less outside the box now.
yes. I said, I want the name. How about I want the name Light in there somewhere. And then
Got
they came up with some names with Light in there somewhere. And
Okay.
those are a little more in the box. And because that would have really freaked me out. Like, Glam ambassadors. Oh yeah. What do you guys do? I have no idea.
All right. So we come to LightQuest, and which is a great name. I love it, by the way. LightQuest Outdoor Illumination. And what's the tagline again?
Your journey to legendary lighting.
I love that. The tagline's dope. Uh,
Dope.
how did you go about like announcing the new name, the new logo, like all the stuff to your existing clients?
So we kind of teased them along the way. We're rebranding, in our newsletters, stuff like that.
Nice.
But then we officially launched January 3rd of this year. So it's 12 months of work getting this thing done. And so we have done multiple emails to them. They got our newsletters. We actually sent a snail mail paper letter to them. Um, and people loved it. The response from all of our clients is like, "Holy cow, that's awesome!" No, nothing bad at all. They'd email me, "Are you still the owner?" Stuff like that. I want to make sure I didn't sell out or something, and that's their only concern, pretty much. But they have all loved it. So we've sent out multiple emails and letters and stuff to them so far to make sure they know what our different name is. So
I'm wondering if did you get any business out of that? Just like more communication with your clients. It's obviously not a sales email, it's just an announcement and staying in touch with people. Did you get any people saying, "Oh, actually, we're glad you reached out. We want to sign up for your service plan," or "We need to add lights," or "We got a referral," or anything like that?
yeah, I'm sure there's stuff like that, but you know me, we are always reaching out to our clients. And at least once or twice a year we are talking with them, you know doing a survey or asking them to do maintenance or something like that. But we did have somebody that got our mailer like for the last 4 years or whatever, and he was ready to do lighting. He looked us up again, and because he changed our name and we invested in our company to change our name, that's why he's going with us now for lighting.
Oh, really? So he's been stalking you for a while.
Yeah.
Now he
Yeah.
sees that you guys are obviously pretty serious. You just went through this major rebrand.
Yeah. Yep. And I just had an appointment today. It came from I advertised on WGN radio. I did a couple of their disc jockeys. They don't call them disc jockeys anymore. What do they call them? Celebrity, what do they call them? Radio personalities, is that what they call them nowadays?
DJ?
DJ. These people, yeah, whatever. I don't know what they call, but they're talk shows. They don't play music. So
Yeah.
but anyways, so he's a senior vice president and director at a bank. And so I met him, and within an hour, I had a check from him and stuff like that. And so we started talking about business. And the thing that he pointed out, you know what I'm most impressed by you? He goes, I know what rebranding costs, and to know that you, what was the wording that he used? You invested in the future of your company. That's the way he put it. He goes, you invested in the future of your company. He goes, that tells a lot about that your company's going to be around. So I was actually, that's an angle I never even looked at. But it was interesting that a customer would tell me that, first time meeting them and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Like once you hear it, like I hear you say that, I'm like, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's cool that they would share that with you, right? And you think about it, it's like I think the impact that you're doing is going to be this bigger wave that you even know. There's things that you'll discover over the next 5 years that you're like, I had no idea that the rebrand would also trigger this, you know. But it definitely is a signal. It's a signal to your existing client base and to your ones that you're going to meet with this week, your future clients, that like, no, we're here to stay. We don't have a magnet on our truck It says Mike's Landscape Lighting. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is the real deal. So that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you mentioned you just met with this guy and you got a check like within an hour. Is that your typical
Yeah.
sales process? Is that fairly normal for you to be able to meet with someone and close the deal on the spot?
Yeah, we like to follow the landscape lighting secrets way of doing things. Is that my tag? Is my key to put the tag in there for that?
Well, the thing is, I think a lot of people hear me talk about it and they think it's like fantasy or something, you know? It's like, well, he doesn't own a business anymore, you know, like he's an old guy, whatever. It's like, I just want to clarify and pause because I heard you say that and I'm like, no, let's just make sure that like people know that like this is a real thing and it's not as hard as they think.
Absolutely, yes. We try to quote. I don't know what the number is. Probably between 70 to 80% of them on the spot. So we have 2 hour increments between appointments, and we will close a bunch of those on the spot. We'll quote 80% of them, but I get it. Sometimes you don't have the right people in place. You don't have both homeowners there or whatever, so you can't close 100% of them on the spot. But you can quote them, and you get a lot of them sold right away, and just you don't have to go back again. Don't ever email a quote. That's just crazy.
Well, what would you say to the people that are like, yeah, but I love design so much, like that means you're sacrificing design. Like, do you have to spend 18 hours looking at a house to come up with a proper design, or like how do you view that?
I just designed one last week. I was there, and I ended up designing it. It took the full 2 hours to draw it and design it. So I had to go back and quote that one, but it was I don't know what it was, 150 light fixtures that I drew the whole property and designed the whole job in less than 2 hours. But I set up a different time to go meet with them. But you can you could do design pretty fast that way too. We draw all of our stuff by hand, and still get a great design done in that time period.
Well, and like that one's a bigger project, but I
Yeah.
appreciate you saying that. Like some people will be like, they'll do the drawing, they'll do the stuff, and then they just go email it. I think that's key is that you'll spend the time to actually go back and meet with them again.
Yep.
I was just stalking you guys earlier today and checking out your reviews. A couple of most recent reviews were like, "Man, Angela's awesome. We can't wait to get our proposal." So
Yeah.
obviously, this one she hadn't done yet, but I love that
Yeah.
like you're getting reviews from people before they've even given you money. That's freaking awesome.
Before we even quoted the job yet. So that tells you what kind of value we're bringing to the table right away when we're meeting with them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're getting quotes. We're getting reviews for jobs we haven't even quoted yet. They have no idea what we're going to even charge, and they're giving us a review already, which is awesome. You know?
No, it was impressive. I was not expecting that, but I do think that people, uh, I don't know, some people just don't think about it, and they're like, "Oh, I'll just email them. It was a good meeting. They like us." But when you email it, you lose all that connection. You know, all of the emotion goes out the window, and it's just a number on a screen. And
Yeah, you can't sell them the project. You need to walk them through the yard and show, hey, we're going to this tree's going to be glowing. You're going to stand out. You're going to sit in your living room, and you're going to see everything glow. You got to sell the project. You got to sell the design. They look for your enthusiasm, they look for your excitement, and they buy off of that.
I love that. Yeah, and I think the mistake people make is they think they did it. They did sell that, and then they go back and they draw everything, and then they email it. But by then, they've forgotten 95% of
Yeah.
what happened, you know?
Yep. Get them. You gotta propose it when you just went through all that stuff, and then I go through it again. I walk them around the yard again. I can show them my design as we're walking around. Yeah, we're lighting this tree, we're lighting this tree, and they get excited, which they should, because it's gonna look awesome. And we already know as designers what it's gonna look like. They don't. We gotta paint that picture to them.
What have you learned throughout this kind of branding process about your own brand and about this new you've mentioned a couple things already, but what makes up a good brand?
What makes up a good brand? I don't know. Where's Dan Antonelli? Is he on the call here today?
He asked me to ask you this. He was going to see if you were one of his star students or not. But like you I'm sure you got feedback from them about why Mike's Landscape Lighting, the look, the design, whatever, why LightQuest is going to appeal to people with the colors or the simplicity and things like that. Are there things that have stuck out to you and that you're looking forward to seeing if they are true, or things that you already know are true?
It's amazing how we have all of our trucks wrapped, all of our vans wrapped, stuff like that. And there's not a phone number on any of our trucks anywhere. No phone number. He goes, I don't want to waste the space and have to make your logo smaller to put a phone number in it. He goes, we made your logo, we made your mascot to be what people are going to remember. That's what you want on there. We don't have any phone numbers on our trucks.
That's
Talk about being
crazy.
scary right there.
Oh, that's crazy. I need to see a picture of it. I don't know if I've seen one. I mean, I know what your brand looks like, but I don't know. That's crazy. And
There's
he's
no phone number. The email's on there, but no, there's not a phone number on any of our trucks anywhere.
it'll be interesting to measure your, branded search over the next couple years to see how many people are looking for are finding you because they're looking for landscape lighting versus they're actually searching for LightQuest,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll know our SEO tracks all that stuff. So we'll be to see how that's going, see how that's happening. So yeah. So Dan Antonelli likes mascots. He likes having a picture of something on there, but not a picture of a house. No pictures of lit houses on a vehicle should ever be on there, according to Dan Antonelli. Which is fine. So we don't have any. We have like pictures in the background of our wraps and stuff like that. But it's not a real picture. What do you call it? Characters of a house or whatever. I don't know what they call that. I'm not an artsy guy. I don't know what this stuff is.
Well,
So
I think that was something that I learned from him too, that I was like, wow. Like I used to think, well, why wouldn't you want a picture on there? And I think what he speaks of mostly is like you'll have a picture and then on the picture is a phone number and text and all this stuff. And then it all just comes together. And then it's like, it's true. What is the point? The messaging is terrible. So I think that'll be interesting to see how. I know you're a numbers guy. You guys track all this data about lead source and closings and all these different things. It'll be interesting to see how your numbers change over the next couple of years and how those metrics work out.
yeah, absolutely. We track everything. What comes to truck sales, everything separately. So we will definitely know what happens there, and it'll be interesting to see it. If our truck sales go down, I'm like, rewrap them, put some pictures on there, put our phone number back on.
Just like over the wrap, you just do a magnet of a picture of a house and a phone number.
I think Dan would just fire me. Just get away.
Yeah. He would somehow sue you and like you have to take that away. Like we're not telling anyone. But what's cool is like I've seen your brand. I saw Dan at a trade show not too long ago, and your brand is up there as one of his like examples, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he is very proud of what he did for our company. He loves it. And he probably says that to everybody, but I
Right.
believe him for mine.
Well, I believe him for yours too, because he's putting on his marketing.
Yeah, it was weird because he puts stuff on Facebook every once in a while, and before I even started using that brand, he had it out there, and I'm like, that's just weird to see out there, because it was like in November, December. He put it on. He put just a picture of it real quick, and I'm like, I know that brand. That's my brand.
Well, share with us that experience. You were at like your first home show when you had like your new backdrops and new banners and stuff like that. What did you experience there as you unveiled the new brand?
Yeah, so we launched our brand on January 3rd. We had our first show on January 5th. So not like having to have all of your marketing materials, uniforms, your website up. I'd have everything up and going by that 5th. So it was down in Chicago, down by O'Hare. And yes, the response was unbelievable. We people, suburbs of Chicago, it's a very, very wealthy area. And one guy came up to me and he said, yeah, we got a house in Chicago. We're building one in Tennessee somewhere. I don't know if it was Nashville, I don't remember. And he just assumed we were there. Because we look like a big brand now. He goes, yeah, you guys can handle that down there. Heck yeah, we can handle it down there.
Cool.
Um,
He just
and
figured
then
you're in like every major market.
we're everywhere.
Yeah. You got a branch here in Salt Lake, don't you?
Yeah, didn't you see us? I see your trucks everywhere.
Don't tell Keith.
And then there's a window company across the aisle from us, and I went to go talk to those guys because they hustle. Those guys were some of the best guys I saw working a show ever. So I just went over to talk to him. I said, "Who's in charge here?" And I guess that guy is okay. And I think he thought I was going to complain, so he kind of waited a little bit. And I said, "Dude, your guys are doing awesome." So I had a real long conversation with he's the marketing director for this company. And so we kind of exchanged cards. He looked at my card. He goes, "You're the founder?" I said, "Yeah." "What?" He goes, "And you're here at the show?" So he just assumed we were just a huge company already, no
Yeah.
clue. So I thought that's two examples at that one show that were just, and that was our first show. And I'm like, wow, this is
That's
great.
awesome. You're like,
Yeah.
you need to change your answer to be like, hell yeah, I'm the founder.
I am the
LightQuest.
founder. I'm founder.
Your
I'm
journey to
Mr. Quest.
legendary lighting. And then you can like throw an expletive at the end of it or something like that.
That's pretty funny.
Then maybe you get a light fixture and you just do a light drop.
I'm gonna have a horse. I get to buy a horse now.
Dude, I can't wait till you have a horse and you show up to lighting design appointments on the horse. It's like trampling right through the like freshly planted flowers and stuff.
Horse takes a crap on the driveway. That'd be great.
Okay, let's take a break and give some money away. Are you good with that?
All right.
Let me see if I can find the right button. Let's play a game, you guys. Gift card giveaway. All right. It's everyone's favorite time. Your chance to win some free money. I'm just going to ask a question. And there's a 25% chance you'll get it right. It's just whoever gets it right the first will win. Okay. So, and then we're going to just send you a gift card. So here's the question. According to ILLI, the International Landscape Lighting Institute, what is the correct way to mount a downlight in a tree? I'm going to give you a multiple choice answer. If you already know, you can type it in, but A, tree straps. Wait. A, tree straps. B, stainless steel lag bolt. C, tree ring. Or D, rubber bungee.
Bungee cord.
Bungee cord. That's what I teach in landscape lighting secrets. Specifically a rubber bungee cord.
Rubber bungee cord.
All right. So tree straps, stainless steel lag bolt, tree ring, or rubber bungee. All right. You guys, who do you think's the winner? We all know the answer is B, stainless steel lag bolt. But the winner is Brian Dank.
And Dank.
He is the all-time champion so far. Not undefeated, but definitely still the champion. Congrats, Brian. You're going to win another gift card from us. So the lighting lizard strikes again.
Good job, Lighting Lizard.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, because before I went to ILLI, I would have thought, people sell tree straps, so why not use tree straps? But they have a good point that it can create mold and disease and stuff on the tree. So there you go.
Well, plus the cambium layer is just right below that bark. So if you wrap something around there and that tree begins to expand, you just killed the whole cambium layer. But if you just drill through it, you're only going through one part of the cambium layer. So yeah.
You only kill a little bit of it.
Yeah. Instead of the whole, all of it. Trees can handle that. It's just that when you wrap something around there, you'll suffocate the tree.
I will say trees are pretty dang resilient. It's interesting because we've all seen those crazy like fixtures in trees that aren't maintained and stuff. There was one, I think I've even seen other people take pictures of it where like we had a guy who mounted a spotlight. It was a spotlight mounted in a tree, but it had a stake on it. And I'm like, what? Like you really put the stake on it? But the tree did such a good job just growing over it that light was not ever going to go anywhere,
Yeah, trying to pound those stakes in the tree you almost have to pre-drill a hole.
You should just use a bigger bit. Kill the tree faster. All right. Well, congrats to Brian Dank. use a stainless steel lag bolt, according to the International Landscape Lighting Institute. Okay, so have we talked everything branding? Is there anything else that I was supposed to ask? Is there anything you want to share about? You got any regrets? I guess. Are you like, maybe we shouldn't have done it? Is your bank account okay?
Account's okay, yes. Yeah, no regrets. It is a very expensive thing. I think I spent $40,000 just on rewrapping vehicles. Think about that. I took an old wrap. I just pay $1,000 more for each one to take the wrap off, and then so it is a very expensive thing. So I think I originally budgeted 80,000 for the rebrand, and we exceeded that number. So it's a very expensive thing to do, but definitely glad I did it. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, one, I think congrats for being in a position where you can afford to do that, because most people do not run a good enough business to where they can make a $100,000 decision. Um, and that's really cool. And again, and you're not hurting. Like you're growing. You're doing good. Like it's an investment. It's not an expense.
Mhm.
So that's really cool. Um, and it almost sounds like I was going to say something else, but I don't remember what it was. Matt Berg has a good question. Are you now bored now that the excitement of the rebrand is over?
Yeah, it's I had 20 different things going on at every given time, and I love that. I'm a to-do list guy. I got lists all over the place, and I have to do multiple different things, but it's still not over yet. There's still some finishing touches, like all of our signs in the building are not done yet, and so there's some stuff to do yet, but majority of it's done. So yeah, it's starting to get. I never get bored. You know me. I'm always looking for something new.
Well, it's one of the things that I admire about you is you always get stuff done. And you've been in landscape lighting secrets now for several years, and I wish I could say that everybody who joins landscape lighting secrets gets massive results. It's easy. All you got to do is join. Like that's just not true. Not everyone has gotten the same results. Um, but for some reason, you're able to constantly get results. What is your what's your key to getting traction?
You made another statement earlier. I think you talked about it. You're addicted to business. I'm addicted to business as well. Um, I love learning new things and implementing those new things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. Um, so to answer your question is I'm very self-motivated. I'm a very self-motivated person. I can give myself a task to do, and I will get it done. And that's what it takes. I mean, there's only so much pushing that you can do. I'm an accountability coach with your landscape lighting secrets as well, and so you meet with those people every 2 months. But I give them the things to do, and if they don't do them, they don't do them. But I can guide them the right direction. But you have to have some self motivation to make sure you do it. Your program works if you do the stuff in your program. It works. It's a lot, so just pick the ones that you're really bad at first and do those first. If you need a presentation, then all right, pick apart the presentation, get that going, then work on the next thing. But the stuff works. It's a proven system that works. You just have to put the time in and do it.
Yeah, well, like I look at people like you who like you get success out of it, and it's like we didn't have to change much. It's like here's the program, you go through it, you do it, it works, everyone's happy, right? And that's what I need to happen any coaching program or any business. It needs to be an investment. If
Mhm.
someone gives you $50,000 for landscape lighting and is not happy at the end, it's gonna be hard to grow a lighting business.
Yeah,
If people
yeah.
join a coaching program and they don't get results out of it, it's going to be hard to grow a coaching program. And so there's people like you that get success, and then there's those that don't. And I'm like, what is the difference here? And I really do think it comes down to like, are you actually going through and implementing it, right? And not saying, oh, I've already tried that, or that doesn't work in my market, it doesn't work for me, or it's not my client, or whatever else it is. Because the people who do it, it works, which is, you mentioned the accountability coaching. That's why we hired you guys to be coaches and to hold these people accountable and like, have you gone through this? Did you listen to this video? Did you do this worksheet? Did you do this thing? And we're seeing a lot of success out of that. It's getting those people that were just struggling, a little bit stuck, maybe in a rut, maybe didn't have the confidence to try something new. And now it's working. And I will do a quick plug on that. So if you guys go to landscapelightingsecrets.com/coaches, there's a page there where you can schedule time, a one-on-one with Mike and our other accountability coaches. It's landscapelightingsecrets.com/coaches. You can actually schedule time with them, even if you're not in the program. Of course, if you are in the program, it's included with your membership, so you don't have to pay anything. But I think it's really cool. So, have you had any breakthroughs with anyone, or any experiences that you've been like, man, I'm glad I talked with that person. They were doing okay, but any positive experiences so far?
And to finish your point first before I answer that question is you have to trust the process. Just like I had to trust the process with the rebranding, you have to trust the process and that it works with that. Yeah, you did this stuff before, but did you actually do it the exact same way? So yeah, trust the process.
Well, that's a
To
good
answer your
point.
question, yeah,
I,
go ahead.
I don't think most people do, and I look at even like I'm in a coaching program right now. How much am I really trusting the process? Probably 20%, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, why not? And I think there's a lot of reasons that go into that, but accountability is a portion of it. The pain that we feel as if we're struggling with something has to be great enough to really cause us to change. And I think some people are successful enough doing it their own way where they don't necessarily have to make it work. And I've
yeah,
noticed that some of the clients in our program who are least successful almost have the most success. Like, they need it to work. If otherwise they can't pay their mortgage, then they're like, okay, I'm back against the wall. I'm going to do this. And for some reason, you're able to continually put yourself in that position where you're able to reset and like almost like work like you're broke. I think it's just it's something I admire about you is you're like, I've even been at other conferences and places with you where I'm like, "Ah, that was a lame presentation." And here you are like taking notes, and like on the plane ride home, you've already implemented it. I'm like, "Oh man, I got a lot to learn." So we find what we're looking for. If we want to find value, we can find it. If we don't, we're not going to.
yeah, absolutely. So to answer your question, I'm just starting to get the second coaching session with some of them. There's one that I had my second one with already, and yeah, he's making changes that he needed to make for quite a long time. And he's going through some of that process now, getting some systems in place. Because he's at that point getting systems in place for hiring and stuff like that. So yeah, I believe it's helping. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, it's it's going to be a tremendous help. It was like the one element that, in order to, in my opinion, have like a complete coaching program, we were missing. And again, it's like there's a lot. There's a lot of different things you can take away from the program, but it's just that one area that like there's no holes now.
Yeah, just I guess having the ability to talk to somebody that's gone through the program and to share what worked for them, what didn't work for them, and just and to give them some structure, like, all right, do this first, do this. Just somebody else listening to what's going on in your business to give you some feedback on helps out, I think.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we got just a few more minutes. I want to ask you if it's okay about marketing. A lot of people struggle with the same stuff. Doesn't really matter what market they're in, what business they're in, and it seems like leads. Like we need we need high quality leads. We need the ability to charge a premium price so we can afford to grow a business, and we need to be able to close deals. Like, those three problems are like constant in every business. You already shared with us how you are able to close on the spot. I know you charge a premium price, otherwise you wouldn't be able to afford a huge rebrand. Um, what are you doing for leads? What's most of your lead generation coming from?
Mm, we do a lot of mailers, direct mail. I'm on radio. Um, we're doing Google ads this year for the first time. We've tried Facebook. We do yard signs. We do door hangers. We do trade shows. So you get what we do a lot of different things to keep the bucket full with leads. and I will spend probably, I think, 17% on advertising this year.
Mm.
17%.
That's
Maybe
huge.
15%. I don't know what I'll look at the numbers, but last year it was high because of the rebrand. I think I was 17% last year, so it might be down to 15% this year. So we pour into advertising, but our goal is we want to increase our company size 55% this year. It's a crazy number. Stupid legends pushed me harder than I wanted to push.
Listen, if I wouldn't have read that book, I would have made the program easy. Well, what's that like when you get pushed harder than you were like thinking and challenged? Like, do you like that, or are you like,
I love it. I absolutely love it. Yes, absolutely love it. Makes me go a little bit even more. I try to go out of my comfort zone all the time, but that even pushes me more out of my comfort zone. 55%. That's that's a huge number. Um, so I have to make sure I have enough leads coming in. And when you have the data that like we have, I know how much more I need to put in advertising to be able to get the number of leads we need to be able to make the number of sales we get. That's why I have all this data from all these past years, and we track everything. We track how much we sell to a house that's worth $500,000 or more, how much we sell to a house that's worth $1 million or more. So I can say, all right, we're not advertising to anything under $1 million anymore because our sales are only like $5,000, which we did a couple years ago. But our house is over $1 million, our average of $15,000. So we're going to push that more. So we track everything. And my office staff were like, why are we tracking this? And then when I explain to them what we do, they love it. They're like, holy cow, you can make some good decisions that way. So
yeah, you make the best decisions because business is a giant math problem. And you just said, okay, let's say it's 15%. If you're $1 million company, that means you're spending $150,000 a year on advertising. At 2 million, that's 300,000. At 3 million, that's 450,000. Like, these are big numbers. There's companies that don't even do 300,000 in revenue. They don't do 450,000 revenue. And then there's the larger companies spending that much money on advertising. And then you have those people asking, well, how do I get leads? And you just told them the secret, there's no secret, is like, it's a bunch of different things, and they all feed each other and they all support each other. And sometimes they're not all winners. Sometimes one of them, you get a huge return on your investment, and another one you get a smaller, but it's the testing, it's the trying these things. It's doing these things. And most people are unwilling to do that. And instead they just complain that, it's slow in my market, I don't have leads. It's like, well, did you put up 150,000? Did you put up 300,000? Like, how much did you put into marketing? And once you know the formula, you can make as much as you need to. And the only people who grow by 55% are the people that are trying to grow by 55%. If you're not going to grow by 55% on accident, right? And you do know your data.
yeah, we tried Facebook last year. We committed to 6 months of it, and we were spending $1,800 a month for 6 months, and we sold one $10,000 sale out of it. So we found out, all right, Facebook is not for us. We want to do that again. We hired somebody that was specialized in Facebook. So it wasn't that we didn't have the right. It wasn't that me was trying to put through the ads on Facebook. I hire people that know how to do that stuff. But in order to do that, you got to be charging the right amount of money, so you have that money to be able to spend on advertising.
Yeah, I love it, man. Your business is phenomenal. I think it's just been so cool to see you grow. And I'm grateful that I kind of get a front row seat to it. It's just awesome. And when you told me you were going to rebrand, I was like so excited. I'm like, this is going to be sweet, because I know the amount of success that you had under your existing brand. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna change everything, So it's just cool, man. So I appreciate your vulnerability, your courage, all the stuff that you're doing. It's just awesome. It's inspiring to see. And I know you're inspiring many other business owners as well. So thanks for being on here, and thanks for all you do, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all you do, Ryan. You being one of my coaches just helps me out tremendously. Getting feedback from you. You've been through this already, so your coaching program has definitely been invaluable to me as well. It's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's awesome. Thank you. That means a ton. All right, guys. Everyone have an awesome week.
We have to hug now. Are we supposed to hug like a virtual hug or something?
Everyone go spend tons of money on marketing. Rebrand your company. All right, everyone take it easy. Have a good one.
Bye.